Hey my friends, Paul Wozniak here with 3 things that I learned from my garden this year. The first thing is, know the difference between the cool spots and the hot spots. I've just started gardening in this plot, so I didn't really realize where the really hot areas are going to be and where the cool crops should go. So I planted some cool crops in hot areas and they got burned out and didn't produce anything. Those are my peas and my spinach. So I barely got any peas and spinach for this year. However, I did pick the right hotspot for my tomatoes and they are doing fabulous. Number 2, respect space limitations. When I started off with my squash plants, they were like this big, and then they grew to be almost as big as this room. And I put a zucchini squash, a yellow squash, and a cucumber plant all in the space that probably should only have one squash plant. So my 2 squash plants choked each other out, didn't really produce much of anything. The zucchini squash leaves turned all nasty and moldy and gnarly, and the yellow squash barely produced anything. So next year, I'm going to respect the space limitations. And number 3, and this is my personal preference, I need to grow more greens. One of my favorite quick meals to eat is just a meat, a grain, and a vegetable, right? You thaw out some chicken, you heat that up, you add a quinoa or a couscous, and then a nice vegetable. Well, I can eat chard and spinach all year long. So I'm going to create space so that I can have the chard and the spinach in the proper cool area, and so that it will produce more for me, because that's what me and my family love to eat. So those are the 3 main things I've learned thus far from this year's garden. How about you? Did you learn any big lessons you'd like to share with us? If so, please do, and also please subscribe.